for sure we don't need data centers. That's absolutely.
And I mean, my girlfriend's like, "Oh well, we've already had data centers for this many years," and I'm like, "Yeah, but
not like that. not like this.
Yeah, right.
This is different. This is a whole different animal now we're dealing with. This is a whole different thing.
We've been fine with those little bitty data centers for the amount that we got, and all of a sudden we need fucking 300 times that.
Right, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Size of fucking cities.
So that's what we're going to take a look at today, folks. I got Joe Kelly here and my ass, and we're going to take a look at this video about Chicago. What's going on? Are they using too much water? Let's take a look. Skip that.
I'm worried about Lake Michigan as it is, because I was looking at a news article about the ice pack in Lake Michigan and how it was very statistically very low.
Jeremy Brzezinski and his family live in Joliet. He's worried about what the future looks like for this Great Lake, not just because of climate change, but because of the rise of data centers.
And with as many data centers as we're talking about bringing into Illinois, and Wisconsin, and Indiana, and Michigan, what's going to happen to that water source that we take for granted?
The aquifer is Joliet's primary water source, but soon it will no longer be sustainable for residents. In fact, by 2030, Joliet will switch to Lake Michigan water. Joliet is one of 6 south suburbs that recently formed the Grand Prairie Water Commission to buy treated lake water from Chicago. Joliet has a plan to deliver that water to residents through a 62-mile water transmission line. That line starts here at the Southwest Pumping Station in Chicago's Durkin Park. It consists of new pipes and some that have just been updated. The cost? $1.5 billion.
Data center water use is highly unlikely to affect the level of Lake Michigan.
Joel Braunmeyer,
I don't buy that when they say highly unlikely.
The Alliance for the Great Lakes.
We think like that kind of crap. When they use that kind of verbiage, when they're saying things like that, highly unlikely to affect the levels of water in Lake Michigan. Horseshit.
Right. I'm not an expert on this, but from what I hear, they're going to use
quite a bit. Quite a bit. Now the thing is they're supposed to use it and replace it.
The real concern here in Illinois
is cooling.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, in my opinion, you're flushing it through industrial pipes and no corporation has ever been known to replace regularly and take care of their maintenance regularly. They take care of things of that nature when it's a catastrophic failure or just before, when they have sensors
pain in the ass.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big pain in the ass and a big cost to them. So wait to replace the infrastructure until they have to.
Right.
And at that point in time, our water supply is already damaged, already intoxicated, already polluted. I don't think that's a good idea to go forward with it. I mean, right there, period in the story, we already know we've shit on the earth enough. We don't need to keep. I'm not a big hippie, I'm not out like, look, there's a tree, it needs a hug. But I mean,
the fact that we have this limit on how much water we're allowed to use for Lake Michigan. So the limit in this case isn't being made by the level of Lake Michigan. It's being made by the fact that Illinois has to keep itself under this limit that's been imposed by the Supreme Court.
Brummeyer is talking about the Lake Michigan Diversion Consent Decree. It's a 1967 U.S. Supreme Court ruling that regulates how much water the state of Illinois can divert from the Lake Michigan basin on a daily basis into the Mississippi River Basin. The history behind that ruling goes back even further.
We could all agree that that's understandable because there's quite a few other states and other areas that also need water from Lake Michigan, and we can't just dump it all downriver
it's
through our state. Yeah, it's our lake. Period. We're on this little bottom nub, but we get it all.
We know it's
this all stems from the late 1800s, right around 1900. Chicago was putting its wastewater back directly into the Chicago River, which then flew out into Lake Michigan. There were, serious health problems associated with that, and so Chicago reversed the flow of the river. And
I just want to point out, did you see the difference in the two colors already right there? Just like, what's going on?
Sent their water, built a canal and sent that water downstream.
The moment it gets in Chicago,
it goes to the Gulf of Mexico. There were legal battles over Chicago using this water and not putting it back.
Under this Supreme Court decree, Illinois is allowed to divert more than 2 billion gallons of water a day. That may sound like a lot, but when you factor in multiple large-scale users at the same time, it could add up quickly.
Right, so data centers, farms,
I like how I said that. That might sound like a lot, but when you factor in multiple big users, that can add up quickly. That might sound like a lot. Yeah, it sounds like a lot. And then after you say that, it sounds like even fucking more. Sounds like way too damn much, man.
It does customers hurt my brain when I look at how they're building them.
Right.
Because it's just like, isn't it cooler underground? What am I missing?
You would think it would be better to put everything maybe 20, 30 feet underground.
At least tunnels, at least 6
channels.
At least 8 feet or something.
I mean, something. If there's a fire hazard in that capacity, it breaks out underground. It's underground, inside a rock tunnel somewhere. Yeah. I really think anything's. I'm not going to say that they shouldn't be built at all. Period. I don't know necessarily what we need them for, like a necessity to facilitate
There's no way
our
we
life.
Need them all.
But if we need to build any, then they need to be restricted to certain areas, so that way they're only contaminating certain areas. Period. There's only certain hazards to certain areas where people aren't, desolate areas where people aren't living.
That's the unfortunate part.
Farmland. It shouldn't be right near cities. I don't care. I'm sorry. Well, the business wants it close, so they've got less commute for their people. I'm sorry, but you pay them better to commute further for the health of everybody involved. Like that's if you want to build it, that's your cost. That should be the penance. I don't understand why.
I can't remember what state, but some people their power companies telling them that they can no longer give them
Lake
power.
Tahoe region,
that sounds
Tahoe region, Utah area, I think, at the Nevada area, a couple of different spots really, but Tahoe received a notice, like an actual public notice, that was they've got until 2027 to find another provider. Now, whether another provider in the area exists or not already is irrelevant. Right now, they've received from their current provider saying that they're no longer going to provide them with power in 2027.
That's kind
so
of
it's
rude.
like, okay, it's nice to get 6 months, cool, but the reality of it is like, what the hell? Like the people, the subsidies, the taxes have paid. See, that's the thing. Like the government, it's Ameren around here in Illinois. Ameren IP is big, right? They did not pay to put all the power lines up in the infrastructure, especially to begin with. That was on the taxpayer dollar.
Seems like it's
you know
always
what I mean,
on
and then
us,
it was handed over to them, and the reality of it is well, they can't maintain it, so they've got to keep. They've got some really stupid deals going on with the power companies and their other subsidy companies or whatever that Corn Belt Electric or ComEd or whoever the other suppliers quote unquote are in the area, but Ameren runs a monopoly on it. Bottom line.
Around here, for sure.
Anything goes wrong with them, we, the Illinois taxpayer, are paying through the nose to cover their asses. I mean, they gave us notices this past year that we're going to be paying a third more every year in power because of all the infrastructure changes, the whatever. And it's like, how is the draw on the structure for what the government's given them? So the government's given them a tax break, XYZ, right? Essentially, don't worry about the water you're using. Don't worry about the power you use, and we'll foot the bill on that. As long as you build here and bring jobs here and create revenue here, right? All right, it's a backdoor handshake deal between them and some political asshole. I don't want to say names right now. JB. Just leave it alone. Anyway, I'm getting off track. I'm really just, and my whole mind's turning wheels right now. Damn it.
Start talking about the prickster.
Oh man, what an asshat! But anyway, it's a result of a handshake backdoor deals that they end up getting these in the first place. Nobody wants it. None of the regular citizens want it. It's just a couple of assholes at the top who are going to get paid to ruin us. When it comes down to it. And anything happens with the big companies that our government and our society is reliant on at that point in time, then it's going to be on the taxpayer's dime to fix it. We're going to have to come to bear every time. You know what I mean? It's just every time. And that's going to be no different with these data centers. It's going to start out a corporate thing, and then it's going to be, we have to maintain this for data safety and blah, 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 blah. Fuck this bullshit. We didn't need it 20 years ago. We don't need it now.
And then when they don't need you, they just tell you that you're going to have to find somebody else.
Essentially, let's keep watching.
All be located in the same place, and if they're all drawing from the same water supply, say groundwater or the same municipal supply, those uses can come into conflict with each other, right? And so if we don't plan smart for how we're going to do this kind of development, you can actually start running into water shortages, even in places that are located in this Great Lakes region with this great abundance.
Water usage in these data centers is big.
Philip Nelson is the president of the Illinois Farm Bureau. He says farmers across the state ask him all the time about data centers, especially when the Bureau is on the road. The big concern, water.
Whether it's 1 million gallons a day, whether that's a closed-loop system that recycles that. The one in Joliet is building a pipeline from the Great Lakes down, just because the concerns that we're hearing locally, this could have an impact on the aquifer where we all pull water off of. And what would that do if you cite 2 or 3 of these big data centers that's going to dip into that aquifer?
Nelson is a 4th-generation grain livestock farmer in Seneca, Illinois. They grow corn and soybean. They also raise cattle and hogs.
And I just think there's a lot of unanswered questions right now. The public hearings here locally, whether it's Joliet, Manuka, Yorkville,
thank you for your comments.
They've had jam-packed crowds of citizens that are worried about these issues.
The Alliance for the Great Lakes 2025 Water Use Report says 40 to 75% of people living in Great Lakes states rely on groundwater for their drinking water. It also says there's conflict over groundwater, concerns about overuse, and it's already happening in states like Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Indiana.
When the groundwater is pumped faster than it can normally recharge, it ends up creating some problems. See, the aquifers can't replenish themselves quickly enough, which can end up lowering the water tables, and then crews end up drilling even deeper wells, which drive up the cost in the process and create even bigger problems.
That same report mentions a new study that some cities in the Great Lakes are sinking at the surface level. Chicago, Columbus, Indianapolis, and Detroit are subsiding at about 2 millimeters or more a year. That's because of compaction.
Yeah, I know.
It happens underground when the space once filled with groundwater collapses. Over time, this sinking threatens public drinking water supplies along with buildings and roads.
I think what they're trying to say is that we have to do this because if not, China will.
Oh, data centers?
Yeah, what have you heard that why are they doing
Well,
it?
I don't know. Let's finish watching this one. This is just a couple more minutes on this, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry about
it's
that.
like I mean it's all good. It's all good because I would like to see on that because there's more. I really don't have. I haven't been watching much because
right now we're living within that allocation, which is great. We're being good stewards of that allocation.
Nora Beck is a policy analyst with the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning. It's the federal and state regional planning agency for northeastern Illinois, where part of their job is to watch how much water.
I would like to take a specific Google search about McLean County and their upcoming meeting. So that way we can put that in here and post this, you know what I mean? And
that's a good idea.
And we see in our demand forecast that we're projecting overall water decline, water use to decline.
Get down there and tell them hell no.
But there's some real uncertainty with high water use industries like data centers and others, as well as climate change.
Beck says they're watching data centers and climate change because they need to start thinking about how to protect this water allocation so we don't go over the limit. We wanted to find out who's using this water now. Unit 30.
You know, we're a horrible parasite on the planet, man. I mean, we just are. I'm sorry, folks.
You don't think that's what we're here for, though? I feel like we're here to disperse the energy and eat the planet.
I mean, in a way, but I mean, like, I don't know that that's our purpose.
Yeah, we might not be going about it the right way.
That's exactly. Well, I mean, there's no right way to go about that, though, bro. You know, the death and destruction of the planet. Yeah, no, we're fucking it up, all right. We're doing a great number one job of that. You know, I would agree. I'm like I said, I'm not a hippie. I'm no tree hugger, but like, what are we doing? You know,
right. We shouldn't be hurting it to where it hurts us. That's the problem.
Right. Well, it comes down to it. Like the planet's a big ass rock. Life will go on the planet. Our asses will not.
Right.
There's going to be a bunch of mole people for a long period of time. And a lot of them are going to die in their a lot of them are going to die in their holes because there's going to be a lot of other pissed off people up top that see them go in their holes and bury those doors. You ain't coming out. You sit in there for 20 years, Bill Gates. We don't give a shit. You're
only
next
got
to
a couple
kin can do whatever.
Air pipes.
The reality of it is people are going to be showing up to bury that stuff before they die off. You know what I mean? And at some point in time, even if they emerge, well, guess what? Who the fuck are they ruling? Themselves? The ape people, the lizard people, whatever roach people are left.
Yeah, but I don't.
You know what I mean?
Wouldn't that be so much easier than what they're doing, though?
Well, what I'm getting at, I guess, is that the planet will get to a point where climate change, whatever you want to call it, we are affecting it to the negative side and making it worse. We're exacerbating the situation in which will lead to our own demise as a civilization on the surface of this planet. And the rest of the planet will keep rolling through the fucking space, growing and living, and everything will be okay. You see what I'm saying? Like, so the best we can do is learn to live in harmony with it before it changes where we can't live on it anymore.
Right.
That's
what I was saying.
That's where we're fucking.
We don't want to hurt it to where it's hurting us.
Right.
And I guess they're paying people to move to like the cold part of Russia.
Yeah.
Because they think it's gonna end up thawing soon.
Yeah, it has been. The tundra up there's been thawing a lot, man. There's actually a big chasm up there that's it started as what they thought was just like a soft spot in the tundra, and they had been doing some deforesting, and because of the few years without the trees covering that tundra anymore, it became really soft.
Oh shit.
Well, all the water collected in a certain area became kind of boggy, swampy, and started shifting. Well, it's in a fucking like mountain valley, so it started shifting downhill. Well, these fucking cliffs on this thing are like 300 feet tall.
Wow.
Like the pit. And it's like, I don't know, some odd kilometers wide, so many odd 15 kilometers long now. I was like, that's crazy. I saw satellite images of it the other day. It's just been getting bigger and bigger every year. And every year it's getting exponentially larger.
Wow.
Because the shit shifts and then the trees and shit just keep falling in. And you know what I mean? Like it just gets, when that happens, more of them fall in, and then it hits more of the sun, hits more of the side wall of the chasm, and melts more of the tundra, the permafrost, and the ice, making everything all soft and mushy, and then that falls in, and then...
Yeah,
so it's
cool.
just like going to keep doing it until the whole thing caves in, I guess. I was like, that's fucking crazy.
That's your global warming.
Right. Move out here quick before it falls in. No thanks. No thanks.
To submitted a Freedom of Information Act request to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources.
Right.
We found out there are 19 municipalities that currently have intakes to Lake Michigan where it withdraws water and redistributes it to 228 other towns and cities. Unit 32 asked Beck what she thinks the future of our water use looks like.
Well, we need to know a lot more information. I think that's critical, right? We need to know how much water our data centers actually using and be able to incorporate that into our analyses. We also know that there's a lot of different technologies for cooling data centers, so I think that's something that we really want to have a better handle on, of which technologies actually use the most water, which facilities are using that technology, and we can go from there.
Right now, data centers are not required to report how much water or electricity they use.
See,
they also don't have to publicly disclose what kind of cooling or heating systems they use. A data center's water or electricity use varies, depending on how it gets power and how it cools equipment. We asked the Illinois DNR what happens if the daily diversion limit is exceeded and the Supreme Court decree is broken.
What are we gonna know?
The department declined our request for an on-camera interview and would only provide responses to our questions via email. They told us the department's Office of Water Resources, Lake Michigan Management Section.
They talk about the judges and their office, the state's office, would refuse to decline to answer any questions on camera, and basically gave them some whatever bullshit. Oh, why do you not sit down and like talk to the people? Why are all these government offices so afraid to have a conversation with the people?
They know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like it's ridiculous, man. And like we need to see that. We need to understand that for what it is. Like these people who were scared to stand there in the light and answer these questions and talk about, okay, you don't know. Say you fucking don't know. Say you're not sure. Say you know what? I'm really not sure about that. But Judy, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that today because I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Where's my pen? I'm going to write that shit down right now. You were talking about what was it? What ruling? What date? Okay. Let's check into that. Let's see what the fuck's going on with that and find out why. Because these people are supposed to be doing their duty to the benefit of the citizen, not to the benefit of a corporation. You know what I mean? And that's where everything's. We, the people, need to step up, put our boots in their fucking asses, you know, personally.
Yeah, there's no accountability.
Yeah, right. And there needs to be. In some, I don't know, some tragic,
I don't know how we
way.
got this far without accountability. Like what?
Well, there used to be,
but
that's the thing is like, yeah, so you and I, the citizen, used to be able to raise these questions, and state's attorney would go after and prosecute other people and corporations and things like that. Like, that's what I really like about Missouri. Senator Hawley, for state's attorney there, he's one of their senators now. But as state's attorney for Missouri, he argued all sorts of shit against corporations and different regulations that they were allowed to have that intoxicated or poisoned the people in Missouri, or that took advantage of them in XYZ different ways. And so in class action suits that he led with other lawyers and whatnot, they got X amount of money back for the state, which keeps property taxes and a lot of other things down for the people because their state is winning fucking battles against corporations.
Wow.
Billions of dollars, you know what I mean? We got to sue our people. We got to raise our property taxes until they move out of our fucking state. Right. Because we can't pay for another big chrome bean in Chicago unless we do.
Bro, my taxes are high.
Dude, it's stupid, dude. There's a whole bunch of people.
I didn't even know I was paying that much.
Get on Nextdoor and you'll see people are not happy about it.
I'm like $6,700 a year.
Dude, ouch. Yeah. Well, you're normal, man. So yeah. Ouch. All right, let's check out some more of this shit, man. It's crazy, bro.
Enforces water allocation by requiring permits and monitoring compliance. If the decree is broken, there are several disciplinary actions the DNR can take, including pursuing circuit court fines up to $10,000.
Many of the communities that take that water in from Lake Michigan.
I'd be curious to know if that's per violation, per gallon, per violation. I think it should be $1,000 per gallon.
If they don't gotta keep track, I guess, but it don't matter.
We'll never know anyway, right? It doesn't really matter. That's a damn good point. You know, if you're not measuring, how many gallons could you possibly violate it by? You know, there's no.
It's ignorant.
And they use it for their own customers, but then they also distribute it and sell it to other customers across northeastern Illinois. Recently, the city of Joliet struck a deal to purchase more than 50 million gallons per day of water from the city of Chicago.
Water diverted under the Lake Michigan consent decree falls into three main categories: domestic water supply, direct diversion, and stormwater runoff. In an email to Fox Chicago, the DNR explained that domestic water supply is used to serve communities and industries across Cook, Lake, DuPage, Kane, and Will counties. They also broke down direct diversion into two subcategories: navigation and discretionary. Diversion for navigation helps maintain safe water levels at canals, locks, and dams, while discretionary diversion is used to improve water quality through the canal system.
Every year, annually, probably
the DNR also says that any entity with a permit to receive a portion of Lake Michigan water can use it to supply customers within their service area or sell it to another water system, as long as that system also has a permit.
Drinking water and
Bromeyer says sending Lake Michigan water to Joliet is a good example of how the system works in practice.
So that's going to require the construction of a new pipeline. That water is going to be sent out to Joliet, and then Joliet's going to decide who it wants to sell that water to. Because again, all this is major infrastructure that has to be paid for. So now the question is, how much of that water is going to be used for data centers, right? So will Joliet carve off
it almost sounds like it's like
industrial cooling.
It just sounds like
will some of its customers, the smaller cities that it sells to, use that for commercial cooling as well? How much of the water supply is going to be committed to those kinds of uses? How much is going to be committed to residential customers? So right now, you can have this image that
are in those
basically
positions of
unlimited
authority.
Water, but that's not reality.
We asked Joliet's Public Utilities Department how they plan to
divide up
assholes
their
put in
Lake
positions
Michigan
by
water
other assholes.
allocation when they start to receive it in
Keep the
2030.
same backdoor
In an
deals
email,
going.
they told us they are expecting
They're
more than
siphoning our taxes off so they
126,000
can live
gallons a
fat.
day to be allocated to
And then
its
they cry about we need to give them
795
bigger
acre data
pensions
center
and more
campus.
retirement money.
That's about 1% of the
You'd figure they would
15.6
charge
million
for the
gallons of
water.
the city's daily water allotment. They also said the Joliet
Try to get 'em a
Technology
deal.
Center will utilize
Or water
closed-loop
used.
cooling methods exclusively, and the total water consumption is projected to be considerably less than residential and manufacturing uses of similar size.
See, I don't like that.
There
crap,
are
man.
some rules and laws
Projected to be
around
considerably
water
less
use and
used.
water
No,
reporting.
Come on, now stop.
Right, for that Lake Michigan diversion. But for the rest of the state that doesn't rely on Lake Michigan, there really aren't these rules. So it's kind of open season on the resource.
Robert Hirschfeld is the Director of Water Policy for the Prairie Rivers Network, a downstate environmental nonprofit organization that protects water and land resources.
But we have no system, no market, nothing that can allocate water to the highest and best use, right? It's just basically anyone, like I said, anyone can tap into a water source and withdraw. And until there's a conflict, then some other landowner would have to go to court and sue and say, well, you're impacting my right to use water, which is, that's time consuming and very expensive. And it's not an efficient way to allocate precious resources.
Essentially what he's saying there is that somebody, as an individual, it's not going to quickly change in any way until the individual goes to court and spends the money saying, hey,
to sue them,
to
for
sue the corporation,
water.
to sue the business, and then it becomes an issue. Until then, it's not an issue because anybody's allowed to draw on it. It's like, well, anybody, individual. See, that's where I do not agree that a corporate entity should hold the rights as an individual.
Right.
I think that needs to change. I know a while back it did. They changed something about that because there was the super PACs, the donation money for campaigns. And they were trying to get rid of the big money, so that way they could level the playing field as far as like what donations were. Everyone had to be registered and whatnot, I believe. And the way they got around that was changing something about corporate law. And then basically you were allowed to donate as much as you wanted as a corporation because a corporation was now a private entity. So it's like an individual person, you know what I mean, with individual citizens' rights. So the corporation has a vested interest in the outcome of the country. So it can use that money to donate to whoever's campaign because you or I could do that as an individual. It's like, that's fucked up, man.
That's not
you
fair.
Know what I mean, like, Bill Gates Foundation can donate, so many $1 billion to whoever's campaign and make sure that everybody hears his candidate is the number one. And
speaking of him,
you know what I mean?
he remember when he bought up all that land?
Yeah.
The farmland.
Yeah, he sold all the rest of his shares. He sold all the rest of his shares. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Out of Microsoft. Yeah. So he's him and Gates. Him and his wife are out of that. I think a big part of the reason why he bought up all the farmland is so he can shut down a lot of the industrial farming going on, and force everybody to be buying his fucking glued together lab meat shit. Yeah.
And then the ticks. You heard about them ticks?
Yeah. And the Hamza virus. Yeah, we're spiraling off here.
For water that isn't part of the Lake Michigan consent decree, Hirschfeld says Illinois defers to a law that is from another country and another century.
So Illinois relies on English common law, which says that you have the right to reasonably use water. So whether that's surface water or groundwater, like an aquifer, the right to use water runs with the land. And so a landowner can put in a pipe or a well and withdraw as much water as they want, so long as they're not impeding another landowner's right to reasonably use water.
Right. Well, dang it.
With water laws this outdated, you'd think there'd be a surge of new rules as the data center boom picks up. We found at least 2 bills addressing the issue were introduced this session.
To me, an obvious first step is to enforce the reporting requirement that already exists. However we want to manage or govern water, right? We would, whether it's a permitting system or whatever it might be, we're not going to be able to do that if we don't know who's using how much water. And the state already requires that we report but they just don't enforce it. You are supposed to report to the Illinois State Water Survey as part of their Illinois Water Inventory Program. It's called IWIP.
So, I mean, like, this begs the question for me that I don't understand, like, why the fuck we're paying a water bill then? You know what I mean? Like, they sell us the water that they just take off the aquifer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, I know we have our own reclamation plan around here, our own Lake Bloomington and all this other shit, but, like, really? Is that, like, what are we really paying for? Reclamation and trash pickup?
Yeah,
and then the water bill
treatment.
keeps going up,
yeah,
you know, and it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, what is this? What?
They got to put the fluoride in it for us.
Turn our brain into Swiss cheese, man.
Right, but the Illinois State Water Survey has no enforcement authority.
Meantime, the Illinois Farm Bureau has been keeping an eye on several bills at both the state and federal levels, hoping to put some guardrails in place to protect farmland as data centers expand. Late last year, the group also put together its own guidelines for how data center projects should move forward in rural areas, giving
changed government-wide, I think federally, like coast to coast, man, is that water rights are being bought up off of land even before somebody else buys the land, like mineral rights or oil rights type of thing. The water rights are being purchased by other companies and shit ahead of time. So you get land and whatnot. You can't drill a well now.
Oh hell no!
Because they've got the water rights. It's like that's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like that's
County Farm Bureau something to lean on when these proposals come up locally.
You know, they're not making any more land. And I keep saying that we need to be good stewards of that land and how we use it and what we develop it into. Some of the data centers that are being sited around here, some of them are really good farmland. Not all of them, but some of them. So eventually that limits the use of production of agriculture commodities.
Not all of the data centers.
When you concrete these things over and build buildings. So at some point in time it'll have an impact on that industry.
Until the laws change, that's making planning and preparing for our future water usage so important.
Quick, bro.
If it comes down to a conflict of municipalities and residents versus data centers are going to win. They have a lot more pull than we do. They have a lot more money than we do.
There's a way to do this that doesn't require us to make these really difficult, controversial decisions if we can get smarter about how we calculate that water use up front.
It's just a way to do this without making
where we site these facilities, and we focus on making it a win for the communities they're in and a win for the Great Lakes.
All right, there's a lot here on this topic. Obviously, you have a lot to say. If you're wondering how you can make...
What he means by a win for the communities is that, well, we still have water, and that a win for the Great Lakes means that, well, they get more money, whoever this Great Lakes Commission president. Well, I'm willing to bet he's the president of the committee of these Great Lakes area. That's what his title was president of that committee. So he's the one who's starting the bitching because, well, how much water are they going to use? How low is it going to leave Lake Michigan? We can't have that happening. But I bet you he's going to be like, you know what? It's not so bad, and it'll be okay. We'll monitor it real well the moment he gets paid by the data center. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you right now, if I met him and shook his fucking hand, I'd tell you right now that motherfucker's a scum dog through and through, and he's going to sell out society for a fucking paycheck from this corporation. It's going to happen.
Oh, he wouldn't have got the job probably if not.
He's going to be.
That's how it goes.
He's going to be one of the key people that's like, yep, it's okay. Don't worry about it, people. It'll be all right. And that fucks people over.
Even the people the people that people fall for and believe in end up doing that.
I mean, so really, a lot of them do. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is. You need people who got principle. Stand on principle because they've got something to prove in that capacity, not because they need money.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you got people that are doing things like getting in the political arena because they want to become rich, and it's like, okay, like. You got to get into the political arena because you want to do your duty.
Make your voice heard. Go to our website. That's fox32chicago.com to see how you can get involved in this debate. Propaganda, Fox Chicago.
Handle business. Search. God dang it. So that's the same thing about Chicago. All right, here we go. Bloomington hears public opinions on data centers. Like to see this. Bloomington, Illinois.
Over in the Twin Cities now, the city of Bloomington held a community discussion to hear the people's opinions on data centers today. City officials, including the mayor and city manager, presented questions to the community.
May 6th.
Yep, so that was Wednesday, May 6th, 2026.
About their thoughts on data centers. The community was asked to fill out a form, which the results were overwhelmingly against, and to make comments in front of the city staff. Now many of the
I gotta say, I'm kind of embarrassed for Twin Cities, city of Bloomington. All right, you see how many seats are empty out there, folks. Now I gotta say, I'm guilty and embarrassed to admit myself. I wasn't there. I wasn't a part of this. We need to be. We need more people there. We need more representation of our communities there. We need to be able to stand more united against these things.
For sure.
I know if I was sitting on stage as one of the executives or one of the committee looking at this kind of a half, not even a half a crowd.
Right, why not sell it out?
One quarter of the crowd, not even 1/5, you know what I mean, of the seats taken up, then I would be kind of like, well, obviously our city and our people don't really care as much as, like everybody's crabbing about it, but nobody's here.
Right. I didn't know about it. I probably wouldn't have went if I did, just because of my circumstances. But
right,
I do see what you're saying, and
right,
I'm kind of proud that we aren't just rolling on with it because of looking at that.
At least enough people were there, and enough people said something to at least raise more questions.
Right. Imagine if it was full. Hell.
Right. Yeah. They would stopped. Full stop. That would have been it. Probably no more. Listen, there's going to be a moratorium, and we're done with it, because obviously people don't want this happening. But seeing this, it's kind of like, all right, well, yeah, you guys are saying no, but we'll come back next month.
Yeah, that's why I was saying, like you said, we should look up and see when the next one is.
Right. Right.
It's revealed the reasons why they felt data centers in Bloomington would have a negative impact. Some of those being concerns over waste, noise, and light pollution, quality of life declines, and less farmland for farmers. The biggest concern, though, was the use of water in data centers.
Yep.
I'm not here to debate technology. I'm here to ask a simple question to you. Why are we choosing to sacrifice irreplaceable farmland, strain critical water resources, and expand industrial infrastructure for something that does not feed us, does not sustain us, and does not give back to the land it replaces? Because once you make this decision, we are the ones that live with it.
Yep, amen to that. Amen to that, everybody else.
Many residents are calling for a moratorium to be enacted against data centers in the city. Another session is scheduled from 6 to 8 p.m. tonight at the Bloomington Center for the Performing Arts.
8 p.m. tonight. So this came out 12 days ago, and they said they were having another meeting that evening. All right, so 12 days ago, today is what? What's today?
Got me.
Today's the 18th. So, that was that evening. I guess they were having a second meeting then.
Huh.
That's interesting.
I thought they had another one.
I think that's why I think
just
they've got
a few
another
days
one
ago.
coming up actually for voting on the moratorium. I saw it on Nextdoor and on Facebook, but I thought it was coming up. I couldn't believe it would. Maybe it has already been posted. I don't see much else about it besides Aurora and Joliet. Let's talk data centers, downtown hall, Bloomington. Oh, that's 3 weeks ago. Agitation rising news. What? Interesting. Let's go back here. See what we can find. Data centers, Bloomington, Illinois. Illinois bill aims to tackle environment impacts of data centers. This is 3 months ago, 2 months ago. So that's pretty much where we're at. Is a few months ago for a lot of things. The most recent we've seen here, this 9 hour ago, on the impact study in Lake Michigan, the level of Lake Michigan, and the amount of downstate use, or the amount of water used by downstate Illinois, or the rest of Illinois. Let's see. Everything else is a couple of months back. So let's go up here and let's go to Google and see when, or whatever the hell, Bing. Search it. data center meeting in Bloomington, Illinois. Meeting, not meeting. Yes, meeting. All right, what do we got here? News about data center meeting, Illinois data center meeting update. Bloomington City Council recently held a public discussion on a proposed 6-month moratorium on a hyperscale data centers, with all council members expressing support for the measure.
Was that today?
That was date and location. Yep, today, actually, date and location, May 18th, 2026, at the Bloomington Government Center in downtown Bloomington. Format, committee of the whole meeting, non-voting, okay, to discuss policy with a public comment period. Public participation, about 30 people attended, 14 spoke live, all opposing data centers and supporting the moratorium. 15 had submitted written comments. Key concerns raised: that water and energy use, residents cited drought-strained water supplies and high energy demands of large data centers. Infrastructure impact was worries about strain on utilities, noise, light pollution, and farmland use. Economic benefits, skepticism over long-term jobs and profitability of data centers. I would definitely be skeptical about any kind of economic benefit. What does it bring to us besides a little bit of tax revenue?
13 jobs.
It's a data center. It's AI crap. It's robots and programming. Like, it's a bunch of computer shit running all the time. How many people need to be there? A couple of techs show up to swap out a hard drive or a server or connect a cable.
That's why I'm asking what's it for.
Right. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Well, not. I mean, even so much that, but just from the employment aspect, you got a supervisor for your techs. So somebody who is monitoring when the system says it has a problem and where the problem is, and then he basically dispatches a tech to go fix it. And there's going to become a point in time where that becomes automated. If they set up the data center right, you've got bots on rails, like you run a wire in the concrete floor.
For sure,
rail
could be.
That leads whatever tech bot to that point that can perform an automated service to change out like a whole server rack. And then you got one guy sitting back as a tech in a workshop. The bot brings the server rack to him, and he replaces the component, and it takes it right
exactly.
back.
We're like replacing ourselves with this.
I mean, what the hell are we doing here? Anyway,
we're watching it happen.
Yeah, I mean, really, the Matrix is real. Welcome to your jelly pods. So, transparency calls for clear zoning rules and disclosure of land use plans. I would completely agree with that as well. Like, it needs to be nailed down to this is all you're building here. This is all you're doing with it. That's it. Period. End of story. All 14 council members voiced support for the moratorium, agreeing it would allow time to understand impacts on water, energy, and infrastructure, bring in experts to assess what types of data centers might fit the okay, right there. Bring in experts to assess what type of data center is going to fit the community, because we're going to get one. We need one here. It just depends on what type of infrastructure we want and what kind of data center fits our community.
Definitely debatable. We don't really need one.
I don't think we need them at all, period. And I think we're going way the wrong way with all of this. I really do. I think society's gone way the wrong way with this crap, man.
Look at the world map of them.
Yeah, it's insane, dude. Balance economic development with resource demands. Yeah, I mean, we need to be able to do that, but the reality of it is you cannot balance your... The thing is, like, to me, that says we need to balance our checkbooks, what I'm getting, with how much it's fucking y'all's water supply. Because I run the risk of you guys wanting to whack me on the streets. Is essentially it. You know what I mean? Like, the politicians are worried about what society's going to do to them in the long run, or how they're going to come after this person, or the next election for them, right?
Hopefully.
The next cycle. All right. And the reality of it is they want to find how much money they're going to... Just like that other douche nozzle, I think, is the one of the problems, the president of the Great Lakes Council or whatever.
For sure, they're like, let's just hold off a little bit. They'll pay us more.
I mean, pretty much, you know what I mean? Like, that's I mean, yeah. That's a accurate way to paint it. Councilmember Michael Mosley suggested using the period to educate on technical implications and fit for Bloomington. So he's a guy who's getting paid, for sure. He's for sure he's a shill on the back end of this shit. Listen. We just need to really help the citizens understand and better understand how these data centers would help us. Nobody. We don't need to better understand how you're going to intoxicate and pollute our water. It's not about how it's going to help us at the cost of our liberty, at the cost of our water. It's just the fact that it doesn't matter. We don't need that kind of help. Put it somewhere else.
I'd like to hear what they're
You want the results here? Then pipe it here with a cable, but put the data center somewhere else and leave our water alone. Put them on the coast.
Well, that's the thing, dude. We don't
where
need
they're using ocean
800
water.
data centers.
No.
Like, this is absurd.
It's because the company doesn't want to pipe their cable all across the damn U.S. Well, put them on the coast and use salt water, and then you pipe your damn cable across the U.S. That's all there is to it. Otherwise, we don't need it.
Right,
because we're the consumer. We are the product in a way, and we're the consumer as well. So, like, they're selling it to us, and they want us to have whatever this is. They need to put it online for whatever reason and convince us of it. So we just say, fuck no.
We should.
And yeah.
It looks like
that's
it's
where
too
I'm
late.
at with it. I mean, really, it feels
Maybe
like
Bloomington Normal might say no, but the rest of the state and then all these other states, like when you look at a map,
it feels like it's just coming down the pipeline from people like Michael Mosley. Well, we just need time to understand how this would be a better fit for us.
Yeah, we need to get the right one.
Right,
the right one
we need
work.
to find the right data center. The right one? What the hell? No. This one only uses 1.2 million gallons of water.
This one only pays me $1.2 million.
Right. So Ward 7 member Molly Ward opposed any hyperscale facility, recalling a 1,500-acre center she once saw. Yeah, that's ridiculous. 1,500-acre data center. That would be insane. That's nuts. That's good farmland. We don't need that crap happening. Staff action. Next step. City staff will prepare, good Lord. Prepare a moratorium ordinance for the May 26th, 2026 meeting. So they are going to prepare a moratorium ordinance coming up on May 2026. What is that? Is that a Sunday? What is that? Sunday? No, it's a Monday. I don't know what the hell that is. Let me look at the calendar here. What is it? What did I say it was? May 26th, 2026?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a Tuesday. Tuesday of next week. Tuesday. Potential vote. The formal vote is expected at a future council meeting pending ordinance adoption. Broader context. McLean County has already restricted data centers to manufacturing districts, and Illinois lawmakers are considering new regulations. Well, you better regulate the corporation and stop regulating the citizen, man, because we don't need that shit. If it's not paying our water bill or paying our power bill in this state, and it costs us money, we don't need it. Period.
End of story. Opposite of that, yeah.
I mean, it needs to be paying us as the citizen, as the individual in Illinois, everybody. And if it's not, then no. Period. End of story. That's just my vote, period. So if you want to follow developments, check the Bloomington City Council meeting minutes or WGLT local news for updates on the moratorium ordinance and any subsequent votes. So everybody, make sure you check back in on the 26th, 2026. Get in there. I'm trying to think. I saw somebody said it was 10 something West Front. Somebody else said it was 115 West Grove. I'm not 100% sure exactly where they're even having the damn meeting at. I'd have to look that up on Facebook to verify. Actually, we can. Let's see. May 6th at the Bloomington Center for the Performing Arts. Okay, no. 2 to 4 and 6 to 8, 2 segments of the meeting. What is that? City. No. Okay, so let's just go up here. Let's go back to this. May 26th, 2026 location. Illinois Data Center Public Forum, May 2026. Part of its ongoing community discussions on the topics, it clarified there are no plans to present a formal data center proposal in May 2026. Mayor Dan Brady has proposed a series of public forums to listen to diverse viewpoints on the issue. date, type, public forum. So location, here we go. Forum is scheduled to take place at the Bloomington Public Library. All right, so address, here you go. May 26th, 2026. This next Tuesday. Address, Bloomington Public Library, Bloomington, Illinois. Check City of Bloomington's official announcements or library's website for the full address. Time, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. or as per the coalition's event notice. Context, this meeting follows earlier public forums on May 2026 where residents expressed concerns about environmental infrastructure. Yada, yada, yada. Here is a tip about planning to attend. If you plan to attend, confirm the exact library address and parking details by contacting the City of Bloomington's Data Center Information Hub at 115 East Washington Street, Bloomington, Illinois, 61701, or by calling 309-434-2509. There you go, May 26th, 2026. Verify the library address of your own accord just to make sure. You can verify at 115 East Washington Street or by calling 309-434-2509. Bungarang.
What about Normal?
Bonnaroo. Oh, I guess, yeah, let's take a look at that. City of Normal. All right. I think the City of Bloomington is doing basically McLean counties because I believe it's a county.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Normal Town Council is scheduled to vote on a 6-month moratorium. 6 months? That's short.
Well, it's the same day, so is it?
It is, right. I wonder if that's what it's going to be on, just 6 months.
Town
Maybe,
Hall.
did I read that already off the other one?
Typically held at Town Hall.
Right. Normal Town Council meeting. Exact venue not specified. Okay, date Monday. What the hell? Monday, May 18th. That was today. All right, so that was today for them at the Normal Town Hall or designated municipal meeting space.
It might have been the same meeting.
So that was they actually voted. No, because this is a different one. This is where they voted. Town Council, Normal did. So I'm curious to see how that turns out then. We'll find out in the next day or so. Normal could soon hit pause on a data center, at least for 6 months. Well, that's good. I mean, at least it's 6 months. You know what I mean? It would be nice if it was more than that, you know. But that's where we're at with that in Normal anyway. Dang. Wish they had a future date that people could show up and really express, you know, how their disdain
we missed it.
And disgust for the damn data centers, you know. Well, that's where we're at on that one, bud.
They're going ahead with it so quick.
I mean it seems like they're going to push it through either way, kind of shoehorn it in there. No matter what, we're getting them.
If it ain't here, it's the next town over.
Yeah, it's going to be one way or another. It's going to ruin their water source and ours. Everybody's down the line, for sure. For fucking sure. Excuse my French. Well, folks, there it is for data centers right now. We got anything else about a data center? What do you think? For right now, I mean, that's really about it for our local area, you know, as far as the data center goes. We've seen that there's great concern about Lake Michigan. We know also with that video, the first one shows us that some of the areas up there are piping water further south and into other areas in the state, and that's of concern for the Lake Michigan Council or the Great Lakes Council president, who is looking for a happy medium between data centers and the water usage in the lakes to benefit everybody in the community. What a douche. I don't believe it. I still don't believe it. But anyway, that's what's being said. And we got a current meeting coming up May 26, 2026, Bloomington Public Library, 6 to 8 p.m. this coming Tuesday.
Yeah, don't be like me, go.
Don't be like you and go.
Yeah.
Don't be like you.
Yeah, go there.
Don't be like us. Get there. I'm usually
Don't
too
read
tired from
about
work
it the
anymore.
day it's happening.
Right. I got ADHD. I get home, I take my boots or my work shoes off for the day, and it's like that's it. I'm in home mode. That's it. I will make it as far as the garage. I literally, if I got shit to do in the evening, I cannot take my shoes off when I get home. Otherwise, I will not go do it.
Yeah, I feel that.
You know, it's just how it is. So, y'all get your asses out of there, man. Do the damn thing. See the damn meeting. Represent.
Surprised I made it up this late.
Right. Yeah. That's all right. It's another lovely Monday evening here.
Been a day, man.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, appreciate you folks for watching. Check it out later. You guys check it out. Check out the meeting on your own. Get your own opinions in there. Do your own research. Get your own information. Form your own opinions, man. Critical thinking is important.
And eat a taco.
That's right. At least one or two, man. All right. You guys have a great day.